Welcome to your re-election defeat, Sheriff Todd Baxter and District Attorney Sandra Doorley. That's not an exaggeration. That's not hyperbole. That's not demagoguery. You will lose if you want free election. Because what you have done to me with your fanaticism, extremism, and hatred. And you will be contacted by the United States Department of Justice. I'll send this YouTube transcript of it to the United States Department of Justice employees along with everyone that I've been doing. Because I'm at the point where I can take everyone, the transcript, and I can send it to the United States Department of Justice. Because even though I use your names and the names of your employees the whole time I'm talking about, and to the employees of the United States Department of Justice. Does the prosecutor talk in court, Sandra Doorley? How am I delivered to jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk? That's your indictment right there. That's just one of the 500, of the 1,000 examples of why you will be the focus of the United States Department of Justice and its employees. This is the most powerful bureaucracy institution in the United States of America, and you deserve the attention of its employees. The attention of the employees of the United States Department of Justice must focus on you relentlessly, because you two are criminals. You two deserve to be removed from office. You two are corrupt to your core, to your bone marrow, to your being. Everything about you is corrupt. Sandra Doorley, what's the name of your prosecutor doesn't talk in Pemberton Court? You're refusing to tell me right there. One example of the 500 of the 1,000. You won't even tell me the name of your prosecutor who stands in Pemberton Court, first before John P. Lomenzo Jr., next before bald-headed wig-wearing Paul Anderson who doesn't talk. How am I delivered to jail when the prosecutor doesn't talk? Did he go back to your disgusting little Dairy Queen there in Rochester, 47 South Fitzhugh, and said I didn't talk in court as an innocent man was delivered to jail? And the answer is no, because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what happened to me. The pathetic party-switching diva. Every employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, can walk through this parking lot without being arrested. Why? I'm the only American from Montauk, New York, the easternmost part of Long Island, to San Francisco, California, to be arrested for walking through this parking lot because of your $67,000 nauseating hack, Shannon Meyer, Todd Baxter, and fire her ass immediately, and you won't, because you are the blue wall of Todd Baxter. Do you fire people, Todd Baxter? Perhaps you've heard of how the criminal cops will cover up for the criminal employees at police agencies and institutions and bureaucracies throughout America because of the blue wall of silence. You're the blue wall of Todd Baxter. Shannon Meyer met with Steve Desmond, a civilian, to concoct the crime for me to get outside of my residence. Elliot Roth, a civilian, is telling me I'm going to be arrested. Nayraj Shah, this psychopath 50-year-old man living with a 70-plus-year-old mother, screaming at me. Walked through the parking lot 4,000 times. I've walked through this parking lot. Am I New York's 4,000-time criminal? You bald-headed psychopath, Todd Baxter? So after Nayraj Shah screams at me, then I speak to Shannon Meyer. I have no idea she's writing a warrant for my arrest for walking through this parking lot, but not anybody else. Then you went to this building at 2025 Penfield Road, and you put a camera, also called a surveillance device, on it. And that's it, you bald-headed psychopath. And you lied about it repeatedly, because it's easy to lie about it when I use the phrase surveillance device. Walk through the parking lot. There were the fireworks at Harris Whalen Park in 2019. I personally witnessed after I left the fireworks and came back to my residence. 200 people in a 15-minute period walked through that parking lot. Walk through the parking lot. If it's a crime to walk through that parking lot, courtesy of Shannon Meyer, should have arrested just those 200 people in that 15-minute, right? How ludicrous does that sound? This is the sick lunatic fringe. You're the sick lunatic fringe, $67,000. Shannon Meyer's a sick lunatic fringe, and the employees of the United States Department of Justice will tell your bald head it's the sick lunatic fringe. But the blue wall of Todd Baxter, the blue wall of silence that engulfs that criminal body of yours, has no idea that this is the sick lunatic fringe. You've received from me multiple times. I took every sentence on here, and I responded it here. Has your name, Todd Baxter, right there? Every sentence was responded to. Trespassing. Upon my arrival, I spoke to V. Shaw. I've read this multiple times. Upon my arrival, I spoke to V. He's a victim. He's a victim. How is he a victim? You're in 1984, you bald-headed criminal. Upon my arrival, I spoke to. He's a victim because I walked through his parking lot. Is that right? How ludicrous is that? How insane is that? You are the bald-headed, insane sheriff of Monroe County because you employ Shannon Myers, $67,000. You employ Andrew Alley, $79,000. And you employ $85,000 a year criminal Don Benedetto hiding on the private property of my neighbor on August 30th, waiting for me to come out of the residence. $67,000 Shannon Myers, fire her ass. $79,000 Andrew Alley, fire his ass. $85,000 Don Benedetto, fire his ass. And I'm going to have YouTubes just on all three of them with their names and salaries. Hopefully in the next 48 to 72 hours. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to put their names on there with the salaries. And I'm going to talk to them directly and to you, you bald-headed party-switching criminal. How is that a crime time? How is it criminal attempt for me to walk outside and stand on 26 Sanders Farm Drive and say nobody owns that land and walk back to my residence? That's not a crime, you bald-headed criminal. I go to the now defunct PW Fitness, and what I'm going to tell you, I've told you over and over and over. And I've communicated with you. What I'm about to tell you, I told you within a week of this happening at this gym called PW Fitness. When I check in with my key card, I think, where is he? Andrew Alley. Andrew, who do you think I'm looking for? When I walked into this now defunct gym, who do you think I'm looking for, Andrew? And you, Andrew, know me because of this parking lot. I'm looking for Jermaine Benman. Because Jermaine Benman is the gym psychopath. You're the sheriff's psychopath, Todd Baxter. You're the district attorney's psychopath, as I will demonstrate, because you're going to refuse to comply with the Freedom of Information Law. You refuse to comply with every single one when I start to read the Freedom of Information Law. There's no doubt about that, Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley, on this February 18th. So, Todd Baxter, now, as I'm telling you this about $79,000 Andrew Alley, this is what you need to be thinking in that bald head of fanaticism and corruption. How is this harassment second? That's what you need to be thinking. Because this is not criminal contempt courtesy of $67,000 Shannon Meyer. So get the enzymes in the bald head flowing, okay? Get the enzymes in that Benito Mussolini bald head flowing. All right, Todd? Because that's what you need to do. You need to get the enzymes in that Benito Mussolini bald head going so you can think about what I'm going to tell you. You got that, Todd? Because this is your Benito Mussolini bald head, all right? Now, think about what I'm going to say. Shine your bald head up here just like Benito, because you're the Benito Mussolini of Monroe County. And think about how this is harassment second, and I'm not harassing anyone. I want these psychopaths to bang on the door, Todd. See that YouTube I called hatred? This is the way you allow your psychopaths to behave, your animals, your fanatics, degenerates, sociopaths, screaming my name. I'm not aware I'm supposed to be anywhere in court. And here they are showing up, screaming my name outside. And you know what? When they show up, you disgusting, sick, degenerate Todd Baxter, how do they know who's in the residence? Because I was not in here alone. And the individual I was in here with, who means everything to me, this individual told me, I have never seen anything like that. That was the language that was communicated to me. And then my neighbor, I'm attached to another residence. There you are pounding on my door. When you're pounding on my door, the walls were shaking on his residence. This is why you're at Jonestown. And this is why I use language like fanatic, degenerate, sociopath, and criminal. When I call you fanatic, degenerate, sociopath, and criminal, I'm not using that language for exaggeration or hyperbole. You meet the definition of a fanatic, degenerate, sociopath, and criminal, you bald-headed fascist stooge and psychopath. Tell me how this is harassment second. Again, this is what I'm going to tell the United States Department of Justice, the employees of the United States Department of Justice, when they read this transcript at YouTube or watch it, and documentation I'm going to conclude, they will immediately reach the easy conclusion that you're concocting crimes for me, because you concocted criminal contempt for me. Andrew Alley shows up at this gym called PW Fitness. I go to the back. I'm on the bench press. Up walks to me the client at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley. This is the client. This is your client, Sandra Doorley, because he walked right out the door for what he's about to do to me because of Jessica Wagner. How come Jessica Wagner's not employed at the District Attorney's Office anymore? You pathetic diva. Perhaps because she's the defense attorney for guys like Jermaine Benman. Now tell me, Todd, from the time I walked in to the now defunct PW Fitness, my key card, and I'm on the bench press, who am I harassing? Who am I harassing? The answer to that is I'm not harassing no one. I'm on the bench press. Up walks to me Jermaine Benman. He goes like that. I do not acknowledge him because he's an animal at the gym and you're an animal, Todd Baxter, and you employ animals. I say, I'll be 30 seconds. I lean back down on the bench press. Benman stands over me. He punches down. My head snaps back violently. He starts to walk away. Todd Baxter, you $132,000 disgusting, vile, sick hack. Who did I just harass? My head was just snapped back. Who did I harass? Benman begins to walk away. I'm looking at his back and I'm thinking, take him to the ground. Start a fight. And I have never believed in violence in my long life. And I should have started a fight with him right there. And that's going to prevent Andrew Reale from showing up. Who did I just harass? Todd Baxter. Benman's walking away from me. He punches down. My head snaps back, for which I had to go to University of Rochester urgent care afterwards because I had pain in my neck. Because when your head is snapped back violently, that's what's going to happen. A witness calls the Monroe County Sheriff, and there's $79,000 Andrew Reale. We walk in there. He looks at me. He knows me because of the Holy Roman Todd Baxter parking lot where you put the surveillance device and lie down. And he decides he's going to concoct a crime for me. Who did I just harass? Todd Baxter. He says, let's go out to the vehicle. He bizarrely tells me to wait in the backseat of his vehicle. I do. I'm in the backseat of the vehicle. So now, you disgusting, sick, degenerate, Todd Baxter doesn't know if he's a Republican or Democrat. What's the name of the human being I'm harassing? From the time I was on the bench press to the time my head was snapped back, to walking outside with $79,000 Andrew Reale, to being in the backseat of the vehicle, who am I harassing? Criminal, bald-headed, fanatic, degenerate, sociopath Todd Baxter, who employs $79,000 fanatic, degenerate, sociopath Andrew Reale. Andrew Reale is talking to Jermaine Benman in front of me. I'm looking out the window because he just told Jermaine Benman to say the 7 words to say to me. This should never happen in the United States of America to an innocent citizen. Should never happen. And the reason why it happens is that you're in Jonestown, that sheriff's office, you're in 1984. You are the George Orwell 1984 Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And Andrew Reale is going to certify right now as I'm sitting in the backseat of your vehicle. Who am I harassing, Todd Baxter? Who did I harass at the gym? Who did I harass as Jermaine Benman snapped my head back and walked away from me? Who did I harass walking outside to the vehicle? Who am I harassing sitting in the backseat of your vehicle? Jonestown Baxter. He walks around to the side of the vehicle. Andrew Reale has Jermaine Benman standing right next to me. And Jermaine Benman, this ignoramus, this criminal, this thug, this violent thug, Jessica Wagner, the district attorney's office says to me, I want to press charges against you. And with those 7 words, Jonestown Baxter. I'm charged with harassment second. Jonestown Baxter doesn't know if he's a Democrat or Republican. Jonestown Baxter says he has a passion for jails. Jonestown Baxter wants to have sex with a jail. Jonestown Baxter, what's the name of the human being I'm harassing? If I'm hypothetically guilty of harassment second, there's a victim. Who's the victim? This is your sick, disgusting, nauseating descent on my life, Jonestown Baxter. On August 30th, I've been on YouTube relentlessly about you, including reading the salaries. And because I read the salaries, that's why Don Benedetto is on the private property of my neighbor. Now, right, Don, $85,000 Don Benedetto, and they parked on Penfield. They are here for me. $85,000 Don Benedetto. You are stalking me on August 30th, and that's the word. That's not hyperbole. You're walking outside. It's on the body camera. You're talking about me. Your vehicles are out there. This is not incidental. You're walking up and down Sanders Farm Drive, talking about me. It's on the body camera I was shown by my public defender. Because of what I'm doing to you on YouTube and what I'm saying to you on YouTube. When I call you things like a bald-headed criminal and a fascist and a degenerate and a stooge and a lunatic, your employees, I'll guess now that they see me on YouTube. I don't know, but I'm guessing. But they're here for me. And I believe that they're here for me because they see me on YouTube and they see me read salaries. Which I'm going to do again, partially. They see me read the salaries. I read these salaries on YouTube right away. I'm confident every single employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office saw that YouTube. And because of me, because of my full disclosure for your office, you bald-headed criminal, these 2 guys outside waiting for me, I believe, saw it, and they knew the salaries because of me, and they decided that you're Jonestown, you disgusting Kool-Aid drinker, to send your criminals to my residence on August 30th, concoct a felony for me on my back porch. How ludicrous does that sound? Because I've never committed a crime. I know how to avoid committing crime. Because it's not a crime to walk outside, stand here and tell somebody in Broccoli Tree and Long Care that nobody owns that land. I'm not harassing anyone. You're concocting crimes from me. These crimes are coming from your bald-headed fanaticism. You bald-headed degenerate Todd Baxter. You told your employees to come here. That's what I'll tell the United States Department of Justice. You, Todd Baxter, and you're refusing to tell me their names. You want these cowards to hide in anonymity. You want them to be anonymous. I've been demanding their names, and I'll prove it right now. Click reply in this email and tell me their names. They know that you can shield them with anonymity. They know they can be anonymous. And this is why you're in Jonestown. This is why you're in 1984. This is why you're a bald-headed criminal. This is why you're a psychopath. You won't even tell me their names. They walked onto the private properties across the street from here. She is 72 years old, one of the nicest people anybody could meet. I did not tell her, and I have not told her that your employees were right near her window. So I come outside and walk alongside the residents, and they're going to lie about why they ran at me, because you're liars. You will lie at the sheriff's office. What are they doing here? You won't even answer that question, so therefore you will lie. Your entire essence, your entire being is lying. What are they doing here? You can't answer that question. You refuse to answer that question. They're here for me to concoct the crime. I walk alongside the residents. You're two psychopaths, you bald-headed criminal, ran from the private property at me. I turn around, I immediately don't know what that is. I run back into my residence. I run back up the side of the residence. When the body camera goes on, that's not a crime. It does not fucking matter what happens when the body camera goes on. What happens on the back porch what matters. This is the concoction of a felony. I'm running up my back porch, you bald-headed stooge. One of them grabs my arm. The hammer I just grabbed goes up. I pull it down. I run back into my residence through the sliding glass door, and that can be seen on the body camera. I'm wearing camouflage pants. What crime did I commit? I'm running away. You disgusting, nauseating hack, Todd Baxter. You disgusting, nauseating hack, Todd Baxter, who doesn't know if he's a Republican or a Democrat. What crime did I commit, and what are their names? Perry Duckles is the district attorney, deputy A#1 king in New York. Perry Duckles. Does a police officer anywhere in the United States have standing when they're breaking the law? Can a police officer, when I say breaking the law, can you just walk onto the private property of anyone and wait and hibernate and hide and wait for a citizen to come out of the residence? Is that legal, Perry? How ludicrous does that sound? What are their names, Todd Baxter? I'm supposed to go into Penfield Town Court and deliver myself to bald-headed, wig-wearing Paula Metzler to declare myself guilty when you, Sandra Doorley, wanted me to tell me the names of the prosecutor in Penfield Town Court, when you wouldn't even identify your psychopaths? Waiting on the private property of my neighbor? That's insane. Fuck you, bald-headed, wig-wearing Paula Metzler. Pay attention. I will never come in there. If I'm in there, I'll have to be violently attacked and deposited in front of you, and I will be screaming at you in the most ferocious way. I don't care about being held in contempt. I don't care about any additional charges, because what I do in Penfield Town Court and what I'm going to do is scream at you and over you, and that's going to be the screaming of innocence. Do you understand me, you sick hack? And Paula Metzler, pay attention. I've said this on YouTube. You can scroll down and see it. How did you acquire my healthcare records? Because you broke the Health Insurance Privacy Protection Act. Breach notification rule, which I've read. You know something only my mother, my father, and my ex-girlfriend know. And now you know it. Because you were given that information. You disgusting, bald-headed, wig-wearing hack by the employees at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. The employees, Paul Metzler, and I'll tell this to State Department of Health in Albany and the Department of Health and Human Services in Washington, D.C., that Todd Baxter's criminals gave you information from my healthcare records because you looked down in Penfield Town Court, and then you asked me a question. It's only known by my mother, my father, my ex-girlfriend, and now you know, because the employees at the Sheriff's Office gave you my healthcare records. I've said this on a previous YouTube. There's nothing from you. All you have to do is click reply. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't know what you're talking about. It's a lie. Who the fuck are you bald-headed, wig-wearing psychopath, Paula Metzler, to stand in there, sitting there in Penfield Town Court without a jury? Because you love sitting up there and destroying lives. Guilty, innocent, there is no innocent. Everybody's guilty. That's why you're refusing to comply with the Freedom of Information Law for list of defense to charge and a ruling. Everybody's guilty. Sandra Doorley, King of New York, A#1 District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Why isn't there a jury in Penfield Town Court? Because you want that bench trial imposed upon everyone. so you can validate whatever criminal charges concocted by Todd Baxter's fanatics, degenerates, sociopaths. That makes me sick to my stomach when I think about it. Perry Duckles, deputy #1 king in New York at the district attorney's office. What's the name of your prosecutors who don't talk in Penfield Town Court? You know why they don't talk? You know why she didn't talk, the female? You know why the 5'2" 3-piece suit boy didn't talk? Because I haven't committed a crime, Perry Duckles. My name is Christopher Chichester. I hope what has happened to me never happens to anyone in your life that you love or like or respect. Sheriff Todd Baxter and District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The Freedom of Information Law. The internal disciplining records of documentation of employees of Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd K. Baxter. The Sheriff Todd K. Baxter is reprimanded, terminated, disciplined employment of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, February 18th, 2021. $67,000 a year. Shannon Moss concocting criminal contempt for me, as I just explained, why that's not a crime. Should you reprimand, terminate, or discipline her? The answer is yes, fire her ass. Andrew Reality's concocting harassment second for me, where I'm not harassing anyone. Should you reprimand, terminate, discipline? Yes. Fire $79,000 Andrew Reality. Don Benedetto's hiding in the bushes across from my residence, concoct a felony for me. Should you reprimand, terminate, discipline $85,000 Don Benedetto? The answer is yes. The answer from you, you bald-headed stooges. No, the blue wall of Todd Baxter will prevent you and shield you and allow you to empower these disgusting criminals. $85,000 Don Benedetto, $79,000 Andrew Reality, $67,000 Shannon Meyer. These individuals are repulsive hacks, and if they concocted these crimes for me, they're going to concoct crimes for other instances. And just because for your own self-preservation, you shouldn't want Don Benedetto, Andrew Reality, Shannon Meyer employed. Because if they're concocting crimes for me, they're going to be concocting crimes for other innocent citizens, because these criminals do not know how to do the job. You don't know how to do the job either, and that's why you shield themselves from you. The Internal Freedom of Information Law, February 18th. The internal disciplinary records of documentation of employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, that District Attorney Sandra Doorley is disciplined, reprimanded, terminated from employment at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Should you pathetic diva, discipline, reprimand, and terminate an employee at the District Attorney's Office who stands in Penfield Town Court first before John P. Lomenzo Jr., next before Paul C. Metzler, and doesn't talk? The answer is yes. The answer from you pathetic diva, is no. You won't even tell me their names. I'm going to get to this foil. I believe it's the last two where I'm demanding their names. And you're going to even refuse to tell me their names. You're going to refuse to comply with every one of these, Sandra Doorley. You refuse to comply with every one of these, Todd Baxter. What are their names? How am I delivered to jail when the prosecutor doesn't talk? How does the district attorney flagrantly ignore the law when I'm demanding the names of two of your taxpayer-subsidized employees that don't talk? The entire existence of the sheriff's office and district attorney's office's tax dollars. I'm waiting for the names and salaries is on here. You know, your psychopaths are banging the door. If there's a banging to my left, your psychopaths arrived. Bald-headed Todd Baxter. What are their names? They're outside screaming my name to my right, which is where the icicles are. Screaming my name on my front lawn. They were pounding on the door with such ferocity that the walls were shaking on the residents attached to me. You think those people are going to vote for you, Todd Baxter? Do you think that my neighbors, and he has said to me repeatedly, I've never seen the police behave like that. He talked about his walls shaking because your employees pounding on the door. You think he's going to vote for you? Since you live in a delusional 1984, you think the answer is yes. I'm going to tell you, you bald-headed stooge. The answer is no. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Do you understand that? King of New York, #1 Sandra Doorley. Name salary, because I'm going to take the payroll that Lee LaRoque didn't take out of the residence. Is $91,000, 40-plus pounds overweight criminal. I'm going to put the raises on YouTube, promote the sheriff's office and district attorney's office, and you're going to thank me for this full disclosure by concocting more crimes for me. Your employees, Todd Baxter, I believe, will drive around in their vehicles beyond a 40-hour to accumulate overtime, and then if they reach a 50,000, 60,000, they will earn more money. But do they earn more money that is at a higher rate or scale than the first 40 hours? What's the answer? Have you seen reports in the news, the Washington Post, New York Times, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, where public employees abuse overtime? I've seen lists when I worked in Albany that was not public, because this was a political problem for my boss, the governor of New York, of state employees making overtime. Say a long time ago, and it was six figures back then. Do you have a list at the district attorney's office and the sheriff's office, your overtime employees, so you can monitor abuse of taxpayer dollars in the payment of overtime? Do you know your top 10 overtime employees, Todd Baxter? Do you know your top 10 overtime employees, Sandra Doorley? If the answer is no, that's again validation of your incompetence, buffoonery, stoogism, and corruption. You should know, because then you should look at it, the top 10, the top 20, the top 50, and say, your salary here is $75,000, but you're being paid over $100,000 because of overtime. Let's talk about that. What are you doing? This is called accountability, Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley, for your own employees. I'm telling you to account for your own employees, and I'm your accountability. Total cost of overtime, time and FL pay beyond base salaries calculated to Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Todd Baxter, your employees, you bald-headed stooge, drive around on purpose. I'm absolutely convinced of that. Total cost of overtime, time and a half hour paid beyond base salaries calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley. Your suit-wearing desk jockeys will be in there for a 50th hour, 60th hour, just to get that extra 10 hours and 20 hours. That's what I believe happens. Because you know why, you pathetic diva? Because you're a criminal and you employ criminals. You employ criminals that stand in Penfield Town Court and don't talk as an innocent man me is delivered to jail. That's why you're a criminal, Sandra Doorley. That's why you're a criminal organization. And you're refusing to even tell me their names, and that's why you're a criminal. I don't use language just to use language. I don't use language just to use it. If I'm going to be inflammatory, I'll say inflammatory. If I'm engaging hyperbole, I'll say it's hyperbole. You are a criminal, Todd Baxter, and you are a criminal, Sandra Doorley, and you're going to refuse to comply with every single one of these documents. This is YouTube's 26 minutes. I'm waiting for you psychopaths to scream on the door, Todd Baxter. I'm waiting for you psychopaths to do the full Hannibal Lecter, Todd, baby. Cost, taxpayers, Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter extended taxpayer dollars, settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits, fair to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. First page of the payroll, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, the first name, $53,778, Mary Frank A. Staub Carr. Mary Frank A. Staub Carr, being sexually harassed, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Todd Baxter. I hope you're not. Mary Frank, what's the environment at the Sheriff's Office? Do you enjoy working at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter? Have your male colleagues ever placed their hands on you at the Sheriff's Office and you've told them repeatedly to keep their hands to themselves? Have you received emails from your male colleagues asking you out on a date? Do you know what a date is? It's to get a drink, go to a movie, go doing anything off time. That's a date. Would you like to do something with me? That's a date. On email, and you're getting an email, you're bombarded by email by one particular employee at the Sheriff's Office, Mary. So they're placing their hands on you. You're being asked out on dates. The language that's being used. There's a language making it impossible for you to do your job. It doesn't rise to the level of harassment where you're being touched at the office, where you're being asked out on dates. But eventually, that rises to a level of harassment. It's different, though. So, Mary, what's the environment at the Sheriff's Office? If someone said to you, Mary, do the Monroe County Sheriff's Office employees act like animals, and is there sexual harassment going on at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? What would your answer be, Mary? Would your answer be, it's a professional environment and I enjoy going to work? Or would your answer be, I've seen examples of sexual harassment, and female employees will talk to each other and communicate with each other about the behavior of their male employees that they wouldn't have that conversation with the male employee. So have you heard from another female to Monroe County Sheriff's Office? I hope you're not being sexually harassed. I hope you have that dignity of the soul. But have you heard from someone else, Mary, at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? She's being sexually harassed, and there are false allegations. And it's almost always a pattern of behavior. It's not just one time, a guy saying something stupid, guy having his hand out when he shouldn't be. That happens. Guys behave like idiots and ignoramuses, and I've seen that, and that's not harassment. Harassment is a pattern of behavior. It's not some one isolated incident, Mary. So how would you describe the environment? If it's not happening to you, then good. But female employees talk to each other. You're aware of it. And if you're aware of it, Mary, are you doing nothing about it? Freedom of Information Law. King of New York, A number one, Sandra Doorley. The cost of taxpayers, Monmouth County District Attorney Sandra Doorley spending taxpayer dollars, settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits fair to apply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Payroll for King of New York, A number one, Sandra Doorley. Rhoda Collins, $55,058. Are you Rhoda Collins being sexually harassed? The Monmouth County District Attorney's Office of Sandra Doorley. I hope you're not. Rhoda, how would you describe the environment at the District Attorney's Office? Have you ever heard the phrase, liberty's the soul's right to breathe? That's one of my favorite phrases. Because it truly gets to the heart of what it means to be an American. Every American should have the soul's right to breathe. And if you're being sexually harassed at the District Attorney's Office, Rhoda Collins, your soul does not have the right to breathe. So as you understand the term, Rhoda, because I gave some examples of what I know it is. As you understand the term, Rhoda, I'm being sexually harassed. The Monmouth County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley. Have you gone to a colleague, co-worker at the District Attorney's Office, Rhoda, and reported it? And if, in fact, it's the case, all hypothetical, you could be at the District Attorney's Office free from any harassment. But I'm asking and I'm demanding to know from your boss, Sandra Doorley, she settled employment-related discrimination lawsuits under Title VII, as I just said. Because if there is sexual harassment, there's a victim. Are you a victim? I hope you're not a victim. Do you know someone that's a victim? Do you, Sandra Doorley, know if there's sexual harassment going on at the District Attorney's Office? And what are you doing about it, Sandra Doorley? Because if you, Sandra Doorley, are aware that there is a pattern of behavior that constitutes sexual harassment and you're doing nothing about it, that's news for the United States Department of Justice, you party-switching diva. Psychopaths haven't arrived, screaming my name, pounding on the door. You know, when they come again, I got the 10-foot icicle going to fall right on his head if they're out there pounding on the sliding glass door. That icicle's going to fall right on the head of your stooge. You disgusting sick hack, Todd Baxter. And this is why you're a disgusting sick hack. Todd Baxter, what's a surveillance device? Because you bought one, and there it is right there. That's your camera, you bald-headed sick hack. And you're right about it. And then when I was calling you surveillance device, your employees like $0 Michael Radler, $36,000 Kathleen Miller, $101,000 William Tadeo, and Scott Alberti are calling Lizzie Barron and Monmouth County Office of Mental Health to come to my residence when it's your surveillance device that you bought and fixed at 2025 Benfield Road to concoct the crime for me. How is that explained to the United States Department of Justice and its employees? And the employees of the United States Department of Justice are going to conclude immediately that you have abridged my civil and constitutional rights when I'm the only American to be arrested for walking through this parking lot and you're concocting crimes for me, as I've detailed here. The cost of a surveillance device purchased with taxpayer dollars by Monmouth County Sheriff Todd Baxter and fixed to a building in 2025 Benfield Road to monitor Christopher Chines, 26 Sanders Farm Drive. Walks through the parking lot next to the building. You, Rhoda Collins, can walk through this parking lot without being arrested. Why? Why can you, Rhoda Collins, walk through this parking lot without being arrested? Are you specially protected American? Do you have civil and constitutional rights that I don't have? Mary Frank A. Stop car. Mary Frank A. Stop car. You can walk through this parking lot without being arrested. Why? Are you specially protected American? Do you have civil and constitutional rights that I don't have? Fie Shannon Mine, you bald-headed criminal. And the blue wall of silence that is Todd Baxter will prevent her from being fired. This is the better picture. That's it right there. That's your surveillance device, you bald-headed criminal. And I know what you're thinking. He should be arrested for holding that finger up at me. It's exactly what that's why I hold it up. Because it's easy to read your mind. When I go like this to you and give you the official finger of Brooklyn, the diseased cranium that is Todd Baxter and his employees, and the diseased cranium on his employees are thinking, he's holding that finger up at us. We should go and arrest him. That's why I do it. Because it's easy to read the minds of corruption. And here we have corruption again. This is nauseating what you did. And you're going to refuse to comply with this one. Everyone. This is the one that reached the level of stoogism. Because I love the Three Stooges, and I have laughed when I'm doing this. I'm going to try not to laugh. So when I look at my notes, I make a decision as to what I'm going to do with the Freedom of Information Law. But I have laughed at this. I'm going to try not to laugh. I hope when I read this Freedom of Information Law, I show the picture, I don't laugh. Because you spent taxpayer dollars, and your employee said it was a training exercise, and there's nothing funny about this, even though I ridicule it. When I ridicule it, I'm going to laugh. You spent taxpayer dollars to take a picture of your employees underwater in a pool. I swim at the pool at the YMCA in Penfield. That is a large pool. And a photograph like this one can be taken in that pool. Did they take time off from your Jonestown, you bald-headed fascist stooge, to take this picture? Or was this done on a private time? Private time, is that right? I don't believe that at all. I believe that this was done on the time of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. You will never admit that this was done on the time of the Sheriff's Office. You can lie about it, and everybody in this photograph will lie about it. The cost of taxpayers' photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd gave Baxter photograph 10 public employees underwater in the pool. Here they are right here. Was this taken in the pool in the YMCA in Penfield? There are only so many pools. I don't know how many pools there are in Monroe County, but that is a big pool. I love swimming in that pool. And if I walked in there and something like this was going on, I would know right away. That is really oddball. That's what I would think. And this guy here, what is this guy here doing? This guy here looks a little bit different than the other ones here. He's got some large thing on his back here. I don't know what this guy looks like. He's Neil Armstrong getting ready to blast off to the moon here. Your employee right here, Todd, baby. With the American flag in the background, that means at your Jonestown, Baxter, somebody had to put this flag in the back here. You made a decision to buy. Did you spend taxpayer dollars to buy the flag? I'm trying not to laugh. There's the flag in the background. Is there something heroic or patriotic about this? Why is the flag in the background? Was this choreographed? I mean, did you call Ansel Adams and ask him to do some work for you about how you could set this up? And you got this equipment down here too. You got the guys on their knees down here. You're sitting around. When they get in the pool in their dive suits, then they're swimming around in the pool. Todd Baxter's employees with the American flag are swimming around in the pool, and then they got to position themselves. So if this is done on the time the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, or even the private time, here your employees are swimming around in their wetsuits, and this one guy's saying to the other guy, I'm going to kneel down here, and this guy's saying, I'm going to stand up here, and let's get the flag in the background. You are such a buffoon, a joke, a stooge, and incompetent. I tried not to laugh. I really did. I tried not to laugh. It came out. And speaking of, I'm going to try not to laugh at this one too. I really will try not to laugh, you bald-headed criminal, Todd Baxter. The cost for a hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff employee Ryan Fisher attended the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd, 2019 with his canine dog Lola. Here he is. This is your employee. Is he still employed? What's he doing in Atlanta, Georgia? This is his beautiful German Shepherd, Lola. There's a Mercedes-Benz logo. Was he in Atlanta, Georgia for one of these disgusting conferences where you cops sit around and whine about the stress and pressure of the job and demand approval? You don't say I demand approval, but the language you're using is communicating I demand approval. What is he doing in Atlanta, Georgia? How many times do I have to demand this from you? Conferences are totally useless. So I'm going to tell you how to do your job, you bald-headed fascist, stooge, and degenerate. When your employee comes to you or the big brain on Todd decides he wants to go to a conference or send one of his employees to a conference, don't do it. You know why? For your own political self-preservation. Because it's a political liability. Everything I'm reading here is your re-election defeat. You don't know it because you live in delusional 1984. You're George Orwell in 1984. This right here, I'm going to come to your events with this. When you have a fundraiser, if it's public, and I could go in there, I'm going to come with this photograph right here. I'm going to come with a picture of your underwater employees. And I'm going to say, did you expend taxpayer dollars to take that picture underwater? What's Ryan Fisher doing in Atlanta, Georgia? And then you want people to know about it. Because here's the tweet. You went to the Twitter page. As we get ready to watch the Super Bowl, we're grateful to men and women assigned to keep fans and players safe in Atlanta, including MCSO's own Deputy Ryan Fisher, K9 Lowe. Deputy Fisher sent this photo from Atlanta. Thank you both for your service. Delusional, psychotic, demented Todd Baxter and his employees. This is not service. Service is public service in any state capital in the United States of America. Service is military service. Service is a charitable act, an altruistic act. Where you're helping someone. There are millions of things that constitute service. Even a small gesture of kindness where you go grocery shopping for a neighbor, maybe an elderly or firm neighbor, that's service. Any number of things constitute service. This is not service. Bald-headed criminal Todd Baxter paying for a plane ticket in a hotel for his employee Ryan Fisher to be 1,500 miles, 2,000 miles away in Atlanta, Georgia. Was that for a conference? Is he here for a conference? And you will refuse to answer. There's no accountability for you. You will have to answer these questions when I contact the United States Department of Justice, when I contact the Controller, when I contact the Assembly, Speaker, Majority Leader in Albany. This was the flag of Georgia until 2003. Here he is in Atlanta, Georgia. It took them until 2003 to change the flag. Brown versus the Board of Education was passed in 1954 to desegregate schools. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a monumental struggle because of segregationists like Strom Thurmond. So, the most important Supreme Court decision of the 20th century was passed in 1954. The most important piece of legislation passed by my former employer, United States House of Representatives, United States Senate, was passed in 1964. And it took until 2003 to get rid of this disgusting stars and bars. How long did it take you, Ryan Fish, to see this? When I was in the 101st Airborne Division in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, my roommate Anthony O'Neill, he was from Redlands, California, and Anthony and I would drive on 41A that connects Clarksville, Tennessee with Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and we would occasionally see this. And I don't remember the conversation because it was a long time ago, but it would be in confusion. What is that? I don't get that. What are they doing? What are these rednecks doing? He was using the term rednecks. I was using the term rednecks. And here's Ryan Fisher in Redneck, Georgia, with the stars and bars. It looks nothing like the beautiful flag, state of New York, with the word Excelsior on it, which means ever high. Are you ever high at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? The answer is no, Todd Baxter. You ever high at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office? The answer is no, Sandra, Doorley. What are the physical training standards requirements of Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Todd Baxter. This hack legal rope that's in here were unconstitutional. Search warrant. That's not a search warrant. You type this Paul Metz from Penfield Town Court, hand to Lee LaRoque. This is not a search warrant. Bald-headed criminal Todd Baxter. Lee LaRoque. Your $91,000 salary and your blue gloves. You were 40 plus pounds overweight, Lee LaRoque. I saw a picture of you outside the public safety building. What's your problem? How do you expect to do the job? Did you have to buy a new uniform, Lee LaRoque? Did the uniform that you wore when you were first employed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, did that suddenly not fit and then you had to go get a new uniform? How many of your employees, you bald-headed criminal, Todd Baxter, have had to requisition a new uniform because they gained weight? Michael Radler, Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee, this is a $20 bill. Do you need some money? Because Michael Radler had the payroll here. The reason why I'm asking if you need some money, I can loan you 20. It says Michael Radler, $0 right there. Here's your boss, bald-headed Todd Baxter, $132,599. Corey K. Brown, $131,485. And then you want $0. Do you $0, Michael Radler? Do you need some money? Do you need 20? I could go on co-sign for you. When I go to Canandaigua National Bank on Penfield Road and I see you whacked out driving up and down Penfield Road all day long, Todd Baxter, doing nothing, I could get your loan application, Michael Radler, because you paid $0. How do you think that's going to go over when you run for re-election, Todd Baxter? You pay Michael Radler $0. You will lose because of Michael Radler, and there are 500 other reasons you will lose. What do you do with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office for $0, Michael Radler? That's why you lose, Todd Baxter, because you can't answer that question. Fire his ass. He's a political liability. And you won't do that because you're the blue wall of silence. You're the blue wall of Todd Baxter. And you'll protect his ass, even though he's a political liability. I'm telling you, he needs to be fired. And you won't do it. The name and charge of every inmate in Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, Monroe County Jail from January 2018 to February 18, 2021. Name charge is that simple. I was attacked at your jail by one of your animals. So also I'm going to tell the United States Department of Justice that I have his name. Employee attacked me, followed me back in my jail cell, went to grab my notes, twisted my arm behind my back. I even had to go to the nurse. Give me a name, Sandra Doorley, you pathetic diva. Give me a name, Perry Duckles. King of New York, A#1, Sandra Doorley. This is for you. Documentation for the case for Christopher charges for John P. Lenzer Jr. Penfield Town Court was named prosecutor, Sandra Doorley. King of New York, A#1, Sandra Doorley. What's her name? I look to my left, total silence, as I'm declared guilty in a Soviet Union show trial. Freedom of information law. Documentation for the case for Christopher Chichester for Paul C. Metz from Pemberton Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? What's his name? This 5'2" three-piece suit boy that works for you, King of New York, A #1, Sandra Doorley, walks up to bald-headed wig-wearing Paula Metzer, gives her a piece of paper. Bald-headed wig-wearing Paula Metzer, I don't know what's on this piece of paper. Do you understand me, you criminal? I don't know what's on it. She declares me guilty. I'm in Livingston County. What am I doing in Livingston County? If you're asked by the United States Department of Justice, then you will be asked, Todd Baxter. What is Christopher Chichester, who's lived in Penfield for 9 years, doing in Livingston County? If you're asked, then you will be asked, Sandra Doorley. What is Christopher Chichester doing in Livingston County when he's lived in Penfield for 9 years? When you're asked, bald-headed wig-wearing Paula Metzer, why did you deliver free man, innocent man, Christopher Chichester to Livingston County when he's lived in Monroe County for 9 years? You refuse to answer every single one of those Freedom of Information Law documents. So, Sandra, I have a photograph of your official photograph that you have at the district attorney's office. I must say that you are quite beautiful. I mean, you achieve a level of beauty that I have rarely seen, Sandra. I mean, were you a Republican, and then you took this picture, and then you became a Democrat? Is that how that worked for you? Because you don't know what party you're supposed to be in, because you'll say anything. And Sandra, here you are with your boyfriend here, because you got some issues here with your boyfriend. And, here you are right here, and you see you're infatuated with him, and he's just totally ignoring you. You're over here staring at him, and he wants nothing to do with you, sweetheart. Why is that? And, he's got this thing that Todd Baxter does. When his arm goes out like that, I don't understand that. His arm goes out, like that. What is that? I don't get that. That's confusing. And then, he's got his fist up in the air like that. And he's screaming like a psychopath. And I don't get that. What is that? So you got some odd things going on, including here you have one of your assistant district attorneys, Sandra. This is assistant district attorney Adolf Eichmann. And you see he's in a booth in Israel. And he's got headphones on because his original language is German. And your original language, sweetheart, is German. And your original language, Todd the Fast Stooge, is German. So here you have Assistant District Attorney Adolf Eichmann here with the headphones on his head because it has to be translated from to the German so he understands what's being said. I almost didn't laugh. And Todd, I mean, really, this final guy here, this guy's could present a public relations problem for you. This is, I think this is your number 2. I think this is the photograph of Corey Brown here. You pay Corey Brown just $1,000 less than you. And here he is right here. This is Corey Brown. And Corey, I must say, this hat that you're wearing here with this little decal on top of it, and you got your arm out like that, like Todd Baxter. This is Corey. It's going to be a problem for you here, this hat. And you need to get a new pair of glasses here. But what's going on with that hat there? So, got a lot going on there. District Attorney's office and Sheriff's office. Because there are a bunch of psychopaths and criminals. And if you ever in the Third Reich would love you. It's not an exaggeration. It's exactly what you are, concocting crimes for me. You behave like fanatics, degenerates, and criminals. Fanatics, degenerates, and criminals coming to my house, demand my little guy. All I'm doing is walking my little guy the same way for 4,000 times in 7 years, and there you are, demanding my little guy. Do you not know, Todd Baxter, the United States of America, people love their dogs. All I'm doing is walking my little guy same way for 7 years and 4,000 times, is screaming from this shack to Shaw law firm 7 years and 4,000 times. I take along this land that has no ownership to this land behind my residence that has no ownership, screaming from Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah. I don't know what that is. I bring my little guy in. I walk back through the parking lot as the only American to be arrested on this day of February 18, 2021. But I was allowed to walk through the parking lot at that time. And I go to talk to Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah. They refused to talk to me. Refused to even come outside, say, we own that land. What are you doing on our land? And they don't own that land because they don't have documentation that proves land ownership. You know why, Todd Baxter? Because that's not documentation that proves land ownership. Tell Shannon Meyer to drag her criminal $67,000 a year ass over there and show them this that's attached. They do not own anything. If they own it, why don't they just give me the documentation and tell me to stay off the land? I would say I've been back there for 4,000 times. So these psychopaths that you're with and your psychopaths are going to show up in my residence. How do you come to my residence, demand my little guy? How does that happen? There's this vicious confrontation at my front door. I say to your employees, you have to kill me to take my little guy. And in there with the animal control, there's two of your stooges are there. Animal control's got a 10-foot pole in his hand. And here they are demanding my little guy. I passed the background check at Lollipop Farm Humane Society to adopt my little guy. I passed the interview with my ex-girlfriend, Laura Riley, to adopt my little guy. We went to the cages. It was such a perfect day for Laura and I. He was sitting there in the cage. He was sitting there just totally motionless, and he was looking up at us with his little paws. He likes to sit with his paws up near his face. So he was sitting there, and Laura said to me, he's looking right at you. And then we adopted him. So what I want to know is, that one of you guys coming to my residence, one of you guys underwater in a pool, was one of you whack jobs underwater in Todd Baxter's swimming pool coming to my residence and demanding my little guy? So one of you two psychopaths, two of you psychopaths underneath the pool, did you two psychopaths arrive at my front door and demand my little guy? Was it you, Ryan Fisher? Were you at my front door demanding my little guy, Ryan? Was it you, Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Herman Gehring at my front door demanding my little guy? That's what I want to know at your Jonestown. So, what's the name of your prosecutors who don't talk in court, Sandra Doorley? What are their names? Why are you refusing to tell me their names? I have names right here. In your delusional 1984. You Todd Baxter, I won't be surprised you're sitting around in your Jonestown thinking that you could be governor of New York. So why you will lose? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 employees here making $100,000. You will lose because of these 9 employees. It's one of the 500,000 plus examples. You will lose one. Jansen D. McNair, 104,938. Kevin C. Kaiser, 110,868. Edward L. Krenzer Jr., 118,787. John M. D. Martino, 101,843. Matthew J. Van Duzy, 130,433. John R. Kennedy, 110,868. James McGowan, 110,868. Dale Earn, 110,868. Thomas A. Sarkis, 101,843. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 employees here making $100,000. You will lose because you're $100,000 cops, and right here's 9 of them. That's only 9. You will lose. You will lose, Sandra Doorley, because your prosecutor didn't talk to court and you're refusing to tell me his name. The $100,000 employees at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, you will lose because of this. Amanda Bowling, 108,338. Raymond Benitez, 117,798. Elizabeth Buckley, 115,302. Robert Catalano, 113,465. Michelle Crowley, 117,798. King of New York, A number 1, Sandra Doorley, 203,089. Perry Duckles, Deputy King of New York, A number 1. Perry Duckles, 129,525. David Dice, 103,599. William Gargan, 103,465. Julie Hahn, 117,798. Michael Harrigan, 108,338. Jennifer Hyatt, 100,188. Leah Mervine Merritt, 101,407. Mark Monahan, 103,817. Matthew Schwartz, 117,798. Sarah Van Strynek, 103,465. You will lose because $100,000 employees, Sandra Doorley, you Todd Baxter, will lose because of your $100,000 employees. You will lose because of the salaries that you pay your public employees. Now, I read the Freedom of Information Law document. I'm demanding how you pay your employees when your employees work the 41st hour. You will lose because of what you do with your employees when you work that 41st hour. This right here, what I'm holding in my hand, is your re-election defeat, Sandra Doorley and Todd Baxter. Please run for re-election, Sandra Doorley and Todd Baxter. My name is Christopher Chichester. I have never committed a crime.